Welcome back to another Encore podcast episode. This is your host, Michael C. Brown, and I am here with none other than Mr. Tony Bell. Appreciate you, brother, for being on. It's all love. I know we tried to get on a couple of times, and, we had to kind of reschedule, so I appreciate you being able to be here, and we're going to get into a lot of different things today, but we're continuing on with our Alumni Spotlight series. So you're an alumni.
Yes, sir.
Here, you're Wilde Lake.
Wildcat
proud.
all the way.
So we're going to get into it, man. So tell the audience just your title, all the things you kind of do here at Wilde Lake High School.
Okay, let me see. Well, my title, my name is Tony Bell. I'm a special educator here at Wilde Lake High School. I think this is going on year 7 to 8 at Wilde Lake. Year 29 inside Howard County. What I do here is I coach a few sports. Girls, this year I coach girls field hockey, first time ever, JV. Just to step in and help out because they didn't have a coach. And I've been coaching the boys lacrosse team for the past 4 years. I pretty much do whatever I have to do around here to support you and to support this building, Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
This is the thing, people don't know. So this is for the audience members. I mean, kids that watch this, they'll understand, right? Because they see you in the hallways and the byways and everything else. But for people that are listening to this that have never set foot into this building, this is an individual here that upon me entering the building, everybody said, hey, look, you got to meet Tony Bell. You got to talk to Tony Bell. If you really want to know about Wilde Lake, you got to talk to Tony Bell.
Wow.
And then I see being here, and now it's March, the influence that you have on the building and how you're out and about, you're everywhere, you're within the community, like you are a microcosm of this place. So I just tell you, and I tell everybody, I appreciate you and everything that you do in the building because it makes my job as a principal a lot easier. So I appreciate you, man.
Well, thank you for even saying that, Mr. Brown. Just the acknowledgement is good enough for me.
Yeah,
You know, that's all it's about. You know what I mean?
I'm
Working
telling you.
hard.
So you alumni, like what do you think about this series that I'm trying to do? This Alumni Spotlight series. Do you know any individuals out here that's doing big things?
Oh, no doubt, Mr. Brown. When you first told me about this series, I was like, wow. You picked the right place because every school has their own greatness within inside it. Like no school has a greatness over another, but Wilde Lake is just a very special place. From when it started with James Rouse, the vision he had building Columbia.
We're in the James Rouse Theater, by the way.
And we're in the
so
James
I told
Rouse.
don't get better than that.
That's a good coincidence, but exactly, his name started this whole thing, and I went to. Just to piggyback off that, I went to high school with his grandson.
Get out of town. So here's the things you don't know.
Ed Norton actually is a Hollywood actor. I was in drama class.
He got a plaque in here somewhere. Somewhere in here, he got an armchair plaque.
He does?
Well,
I was on the stage with him performing because I took drama class. I like to be diverse when I was in high school. I didn't like to try to fit in one box like everybody tries to make you fit in a mold and make you feel like you can't accomplish other things because someone who doesn't look like you had never done it before.
Right.
Like that's not real.
Right.
And his other grandson, Joe Norton, played lacrosse with me. We graduated together. So it's just like small that we have that community thing. This Howard County community is big, but Wilde Lake is special.
Yeah.
And when you talk about other alumni, I can't think of his name, but my man from Red Lobster right now is the CEO. He turning that thing around. You know what I mean? And Zach Brown.
He was on the Breakfast Club not too long ago.
Really?
I think like a month or so ago. Yeah, you got to check it out. He was on there. Yeah.
All right, little Von Stample out there doing things. He's the president of the little football league out there. So we got people. Erica Chevalier is getting ready to open Columbia Community Care, which is a rec center right over here, community center.
Yeah.
So people actually come here and go out and do big things. We have my buddy Tim Egan. He Survivor, the show Survivor or something like that. He Super Nanny, 911 or something like that. Like we out in Hollywood, we're everywhere, and everywhere I travel across the country, I always run into Wilde Lake alumni somewhere. Wear a shirt at a restaurant. Oh, you went to Wilde Lake? There's always some kind of connection here.
Yeah.
It's
I
amazing.
mean, I tell people all the time, like, when I decided to take the job here, people people were blowing me. I'm talking about like people that I knew that was like somewhat in my circle that I didn't know had a connection to this place. So not that they went here, but they were like, oh, well, you know, my cousin or, you know, my sister's brother, this, that, and the third. Like, it was some kind of connection to this place. So everybody was like blowing me up. And I'm like thinking like, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to Howard County. No, it was a big deal coming here.
Yes.
People treated it that way. So I knew coming in the door that this was a big deal. But you just spoke on some of those things being an alumni here, man. So that part is huge. So going into your history, there's always people in your life that help you to get where you are now. Who are some of those people that have helped you along the way, and what do they mean to you?
Well,
and give shout outs to people, you know,
well,
whether they're here or not. I mean, give shout outs to them.
Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna give my shout out to God because I wouldn't be anywhere without Him. Right. You know, I'm standing on my 2 feet and breathing because of Him. Now, as far as people on this earth, it all starts back with my great grandmother Ada Bell. She was born in 1893, and I want to go back to that. We're from the 1800s of Howard County, also like 5 generations of graduates in the school system. So my family runs deep all throughout this county. Right. But Ada Bell was born in 1893. She raised me, so I was fortunate to be raised by somebody who was born in the 1800s. There's not many people that can say that. You know, my mom fortunately had me when she was at Alfton High School at a teen mom, and back then that wasn't a thing to do, have teen babies. That's why it's good to even see programs in place for people to get in that right here. Our teen parenting. So it's like when I see things out here in the community, I think about the past, and I connect it with the present, and to see the things we have now that they didn't have back then, and the things that we have now that we need for the future. Right. You know, but also I'm gonna give a shout out to Mr. Jesse Smith, who was my principal right there at Wilde Lake Middle. Rest in peace. We just put him away this weekend. Okay. Yeah, he just passed away. Okay. And he was a principal who looked like me, you know, and in elementary school, Miss Betty King was a principal who looked like myself. So I had those experiences with great leaders. Miss Nancy Miller, a teacher here who actually used to call me to make me get up and come to school. You know, I didn't have that push from home, you know, like some of our kids. It's like school wasn't a big deal in the home front. And then you come in here and everybody wants you to do work and make it seem like it's a big deal. So it's like a disconnect. You know what I mean? I had that disconnect for a while. Yeah. But those are just some of the people. And my mom, I mean, I had to give her a shout out because I used to have a lot of anger towards her because of, you know, I felt abandoned as a kid. But then I realized I never took the time. I started healing when I took the time to put myself in her shoes. Yep. And that's the main lesson. I started putting everything in my life behind, and it just solves things so much easier. It helps you understand, you know?
I think you brought up a key point, which is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. And what I tell young people out here all the time is you got a lot of anger, you got a lot of resentment for whatever your folks are doing or not doing.
Justifiably so at that time.
Correct. But what you're not doing is putting yourself in their shoes.
Correct.
It's easy to judge when you're 16, 17, and you're looking at them like, man, you know, whatever. You ain't thinking about when you was, you know, 1 year old and, you know, you pooping in your diaper and they trying to make all this stuff work, trying to make ends meet, feeding you, clothing you, you waking up crying and all. Like, you don't think about the shoes that they was in then.
Not at all.
And the stresses and everything else they had to persevere through to even get to that point where you 15, 16, 17 years old.
Right.
We don't have grace for that. And I'm telling my kids all the time, like, here, we got to have grace for those individuals, regardless of the inefficiencies.
Yes.
You got to have grace.
Yes.
Right? And if you don't have that, you're going to wish somebody had grace for you because you ain't going to be perfect as you matriculate through life.
Exactly.
So that's why I say putting yourself in somebody else's shoes is really, really key, especially for our young folks. It's hard for them to do, but it's key for them.
Oh, definitely, because even as an adult, it was hard for me at times. You know what I mean? Because I would get, the one thing I realized is making yourself a victim. life is life. Life's gonna throw all kinds of things at you. It's all about how you handle it and how you look at it. If you handle it like, oh, yeah, some things can make you sad a little bit, but you gotta bounce right back from it. Like I said, put yourself in someone else's shoes. And sometimes it's hard to put yourself in other shoes when you never had their experiences and you can't even really begin to think like that as a kid. Right. It's really hard. Mm-hmm. So as an adult, that's what made my transformation. Like, I can't get mad about things that I can't control. Right. All I can do is hit it with the understanding that maybe they felt this way. Just because I feel one day, everyone doesn't, we assume that everyone's thinking alike as we walk by and have these situations and conversations. But that's not the case. Right. So if you get it younger, your life's gonna be so much better and you'll put more positivity out there in the world.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess getting into your life, everybody has challenges and stuff that they face. Talk to the people about your biggest challenge that you faced in your life and how did you overcome that? Did you overcome it?
Well, my biggest challenge, I would knock it down to say, Mr. Brown, that I had several challenges, and I'm trying to knock it down to what the biggest one. The biggest one, it came from childhood, not feeling a place to belong, trying to find the right group to belong in, trying to feel accepted, trying to, even within my family, not having a dad, that really bothered me most of my life, not even knowing a name of a dad. It held me back. So that was a big challenge. But then I also I like to call myself a cycle breaker because I look at cycles that I look at that are wrong, and I'm like, instead of fussing about it, do something about it.
Generational cycles. So by me not having a father, I made a pledge to myself as a child that if I ever had a kid, I'm gonna make sure I'm in that kid's life. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be that father. So that was a big challenge. And then it's just funny how life works out because then I had a daughter when I was in college. I got away from here because I was into some things that wasn't quite right. And I wasn't the college guy. I never took a SAT. No one in my family ever went to college. I was just thinking about hustling or whatever, doing what I had to do. And then it came over me that I was like, I'm better than that. Why am I setting myself, why you had this low bar?
Low bar for myself. When just because no one else is setting it for me, I was like, I need to set it for myself. So I went up to New York on my own and just took a chance and went to college up there and ended up having a baby. Like 1 year into college, moved back to Maryland. Next thing you know, I'm a single dad. My daughter's 2. So I was like, put to that challenge, like, oh, you want to be a better father? Yeah. Now here you go.
But that's especially during that time period. Not to age you, but during that time period, that's not a normal thing.
Oh,
be a single
no,
dad.
Especially to a young lady. Like a little boy, I think I could have just brushed his hair and cut him up, shaped him up. But I'm talking about putting the ponytails in and all that. And
I'm a girl dad. I know. Listen, I know all day.
Right. So it was a struggle, but he looked out for me and put people in my life that I used to drop off, get ahead. I just had people help me out, but it really made me realize that being a father and breaking that cycle was important, and that's what motivated me to go back and finish college also, because I'm like, you can't ask people to do things and you don't try to lead by example. You know what I mean? Because I respect those more. I respect everyone, but I like to see someone who has actually been through the storm or understands it enough to take that advice. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I mean, I think for you, the biggest thing is, breaking that cycle, whatever, but not doing it in anger and resentment. Because like I told you, the anger and resentment could lead you on a different path.
Yes.
So you realize, okay, I'm not going to allow this anger, these feelings that I have of abandonment and so forth or whatever to direct my path in life.
Correct.
I realize, right, that is a path that's going to lead me to some dark places.
Right.
So for you to be able to realize that and be able to pivot, that is the thing that I think that you, the value that you bring here is that you automatically see that in kids already.
Right.
And you're able to build those relationships because you already know what they're feeling. And I don't know, I ain't gonna get into it.
And respect what they feel. But
but I mean, I think that's what makes you special is that is something that you hold near and dear. It's almost like a mission of yours, if you will.
Yeah.
And I see that in
Wow.
you as you interact with young people here. Like that's one of the things that I see is that you take that personally. Like that's a personal mission of yours. When you see a young person hurting and you see them angry about something, you see that, you want to try to kind of fill that void and try to get them to kind of pivot.
back.
You understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
and get there on their own.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can give them the direction, but you still want them to take those steps. And some people just need to pivot, and you give them a little push, and then they start running the marathon.
Yeah.
You know, they just need that direction.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I guess talk about your background, interests, and not only your role here, because I know you're a coach as well. Just what your role allows you to do here with young people.
Well, my role allows me just to be a supportive person in someone's life in this building. I try to, whatever they need, if they're looking for a job, I try to guide them that way. I like to network them together. And I like helping build the relationships, even when they talk about certain teachers are this way. Like you said, put yourself in the other person's shoe.
Right.
Because you can look at somebody and whatever, but I tell a kid, you ever think about this? Even the cell phone policy, why are they yelling at me? Well, maybe you're the 80th kid that they talked to today about putting their cell phone up. Right. And we're human beings, you know what I mean?
Right.
That can be real frustrating, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, just always try to think of because we are as humans, we always, when something happens, we like right away thinking that's what it is. And that's one thing, even in my adulthood, it kind of like, sometimes you can get off and you have to catch yourself and say, hold up, let me put myself in their shoes and not get mad. Yeah. But my role in this building is just to be whatever they need. I just fill in the void. Whatever you need, I'm here for you, whatever the cafeteria need, whatever any student need. You know, it's about supporting one another, because if we help one another out, we're all trying to achieve greatness.
We all win.
And it's good to support other people to achieve their, you help others try to get to their greatness, because like you said, you want others to help you.
Yeah.
So it's like, just put out that good karma in the world.
Yeah, that's big. So your experience here, not that you don't gotta get too into it, because I know your experience here as a student is different than your experience here as an adult. But you are a Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? Shout out to the Hall of Fame.
You are too. Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame.
No, that's Edgewood. That's Edgewood.
It's still, Hall of Fame is Hall of Fame.
But, saw you get inducted the whole 9 yards, so I'm blessed enough to be able to see that. But talk about your experience here as a kid versus your experience here as an adult.
Well, I tell you what, it's a complete 360. Because with my experience here as a kid, I'm telling you, I didn't feel
using the what they call it.
I was in the mix.
What they call the bowl, the round
the
bowl.
the toilet bowl. When I went here, it looked like the toilet bowl. You know what I mean? And I was part.
Somebody told me that.
It looked just like it. It used to be an old diagram.
No, I got it in my office.
Oh, you do?
It's a picture of it in my office.
Oh yeah. I was in the old toilet bowl. I even had experience in this school when I was in Wilde Lake Middle School. I used to get suspended from Wilde Lake Middle School from coming in here. Just things I would come up here and do and get in trouble. And I would go to Wilde Lake Middle and they say, you got to walk down to Wilde Lake High. And I'm like, for what? Then I had to come down here and meet the principal. So I was my name was known before I even came in the building. Mr. Wilson, our custodian, used to kick me out the gym all the time. I'd come in here and shoot basketballs, try to get in the weight room. But I was trying to stay out of trouble, but still wasn't, doing
talking about the same custodian?
Yeah, he was here right now. Yeah, which is funny. Isn't that something? He used to kick me out when I was 14, 13, 12. So
he won't retire though. He said he gonna retire.
Nah, I told him. I said it's almost my retirement time, and you still here. So you can't make that up, Mr. Brown. But it was different, going from West Baltimore on the weekend to back out here during the weekday. It was like living two lives. You go out there and your head on the swivel all the time. Then you come out here and you hear how people talk about how hard it is. You like, this is nothing. You come to my grandma's one weekend for me, So it was a difficult transition. But I had like I said, it wasn't dad there. It was just mom. I was the oldest, taking care of everything, and but I always did the same thing, even in the neighborhood I grew up around. Like, it was a Section 8 neighborhood out here in Howard County. Rouse had a little Section 8 neighborhood, so we never had a car in our family, anything like that. So I used to, even people who were doing wrong, I would try to look out for. You know what I mean? Try to advise them to do pivot themselves, you
Right.
know, which is kind of funny. I realized when you reflect back, I was always doing this, even in whatever environment I was in.
Right.
You know, because I always want what's best for people. That's just how I am. I just sometimes ask myself, how am I? It's like, that's just who I am. That's what God made me feel that way.
Right.
But it was a lot different being out there and not following rules when I come here. I thought I was too smart and didn't want to listen to teachers. You know, I graduated, and I'm going to put myself out there because there's no shame. When I graduated Wilde Lake, I had a 2.1 GPA. Didn't even know what a GPA was, didn't care. And then,
did not know what it is. That ain't too bad. Like 2.1, you ain't know what it is.
Right.
I'm like, it's not too shabby.
Yeah.
Because I see the lot worse than that.
Now I see that, so I get it. But I mean, for somebody who wasn't really invested and didn't come in here and feel like he was being successful every day as a student, I didn't feel like I was a successful student.
Yeah.
But then as I grew, you know, went back to college later, and you know, school became easier to me. And then I graduated with a 3.9 bachelor's, a 3.9 master's. So it was like, then you see the difference.
Say it again. Say that again.
3.9 bachelor's, 3.9 master's.
Yeah, see,
and then copies.
that's
Yeah, but see, it's a mindset. So it's like I had to believe in myself then. A lot of times as a kid, when you got life going, it's hard to push yourself forward. You know, that's why I like to do that little extra push, because I was like, wow, if someone had to push me when I was at that age, I could imagine where I would have been at right now. You know what I mean? I might be the president. You never know. I mean, you can do whatever you set your mind to.
You ain't done yet, so let's not put a cap on it yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's
know.
true. I'm just getting started. You're right.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But that's a big difference with the academic piece. You know what I mean? And I went to Coppin State University. I was a single dad.
Shout out to Coppin.
Shout out to Coppin. I used to bring my daughter when she was 5 and 6 to night class with me. She could sit in class with me when I finished my bachelor's. So me and her been through it, you know. But I graduated with interdisciplinary studies, special ed, and psychology. I'm in the Coppin State Psychology Honor Society. So I have a big psychology background that I just don't go around and talk about things, you know. Then I earned my master's from McDaniel, which is a totally different school.
Yeah, it's totally different. That's all in my old neck of the woods.
Carroll County. That's all I know about that. My master's in curriculum instruction with an emphasis on administration. So I have my certificate to be administrator, which I also served a little bit, you know, at Homewood Center. I served for about 6 months, and it was a good experience. It's hard work. That's why I tip my hat off to what you guys go through in administrative. I mean, you guys, teachers work hard, everybody in this building works hard, but you guys have to manage not only the children, you have to deal with the adults. So it's a tough job, and finding that balance is the part to make everybody come out feeling safe and secure is the key to it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I noticed in that position, and I was good at that. You know what I mean? It's just because you hear both people's sides, you not throw the judgment in. Like we say, judgment.
Yeah.
That word keeps coming up for some reason in this talk.
Yeah. So I ask everybody this because at Wilde Lake, I believe that we're about being relentless in everything that we do, right? Which means we have to have a spirit of not giving up.
Never.
Right?
Never.
What does that term mean to you? What have you had to be relentless in your life currently or in the past about?
Well, actually, with my professionalism, you know, being accepted as a good educator, I'm always being relentless to that because, I mean, you're going to have people who love you and you're going to have people who don't understand you. A lot of times I think, I'm going to tell you one good story. I had a parent who worked with me. He passed away 2 years ago, Dave Nesbitt. 83 years old. He was a parent here. He was a boys soccer coach. And from New York. And let me tell you his story, because he's like Wilde Lake Alumni. His kids graduated from here with me, and his grandsons, the last one is here, so he had 3 grandsons come through. His youngest grandson is a sophomore here right now. He moved from New York and came here. He was the first African-American man to work for Rouse. Rouse brought him here to build Columbia. So I'm sitting in the classroom with my assistant, so the knowledge I was learning from him, and this one term he told me about myself. He said, "You are the most misunderstood brother walking around." And I never understood what I'm like, misunderstood, but then I finally understood what he meant. He was like, people look, like they say never judge a book by its cover. And people look at you and assume one thing about you and don't really know what you're really about, the whole story. And now I understand that. And he always told me to write a book. So I'm
that.
definitely going to write a book because he kept telling me like that, boy, you should write a book. And you have to listen to the older people. That's the wisdom. And that's the problem with the young kids these days. They don't listen to the elders. And some don't have the elders around, but you need to listen to elders who they don't have to be your blood.
That's what I'm saying. Elders
you gotta
are
listen
walking
to
around in the building.
all this wisdom walking around, you better listen to the elders. That's my best advice to the young kids. Stop thinking they're old school and they don't know what they're talking about. Because those words they're giving you are the key words to make you great and make you help this world. So that's my best advice. The elders,
I love that. I love that. Well, look, I could, you and I could sit here and rap all day, even though this is a formatted thing. You and I, we talk all the time. We have interesting conversations all the time.
I appreciate what you bring to this building. When they said, I had the old principal and the superintendent both personally told me that we're bringing a good guy in here. And they told the truth. You know what I mean? You walked in here from day one, honest, learning, looking out for people, sincere, hearing. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better principal. I'm just happy because Wilde Lake is dear to me. And I'm just happy that they put you here, and that's just not, I wouldn't BS about that. I appreciate you for real.
Hey, man.
Like what you bring,
like I said, man. It's all love, but it's like I said, it's trying to hold up the legacy that's already here. So when you get humble when you come to a school that has so many years, so much lineage, so much history, that means so much to this community in Columbia. And like you talk about Jim Rouse and just groundbreaking things that I've read about, but now I'm a part of. Right. I read about these things, and now I'm like actually a part of this history that's currently being made. So that humbles me every day that I walk in here, that I'm doing important work. And that the people in here, you can't do it without a great staff, supportive staff, individuals like yourself and others here that really honestly, they bleed the school colors. They are Wildcats and they want this school to thrive. They get defensive about it. You know what I mean? They go out, they wear their stuff. Somebody say something about Wilde Lake, they peeking out. Who said that? You know what I mean? Like, this is the type of staff and the type of individuals that we have here. So with that, makes my job easy. Is there anything else that you want the people to know before we go ahead and sign on out?
Oh man, you got me on the spot, big brother. But I just want the people to know.
You want to get shout out to lacrosse? We ain't talked too much about the coaching now. You shout out to lacrosse. What we doing this year? You want shout out?
What's up, lacrosse? we got a young team this year, but we gonna build it up. You know what I mean? And like I said, my assistant coach is one of my old players. You bring people back, and that's another thing about Wilde Lake. We like bringing up. My coaching staff was all Wilde Lake grads except one. So, we just like keeping it there. But
something about that green with the lacrosse stick and stuff, something special about it.
Something about it, you played, right?
Yeah,
you played,
it ain't to me.
Yeah. So we both played the game, you understand. I had to get you come out there and help us out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be out there. I definitely got to see y'all, man. But again, man, I appreciate you taking the time out today. I know you're a busy dude.
Yeah, but thanks for having me, Mr. Brown. And
not a problem. So everybody, look, that is a wrap. We are out. Listen, this is Encore Podcast. Again, we're trying to give you guys more and more of the content that you all want. This is our alumni series. Listen, look out. We got a couple more guests I'm going to try to squeeze in the remainder of this year. Going into summer, I think it's that important. This man is a part of that, but we are going to make sure that we bring people in here that are interesting to you with these conversations. So, again, until next time, I will see you all again next time.